Hi everyone, it's Donna from Little Spaceman Paper Crafts. This is my third weight update video. It's not a great one this time. I've had a lot going on this month. I've swapped over my slimming groups, so I'm now around a lot of unfamiliar people, which doesn't really help with the anxiety. And then, yeah, to sort of top it off, I have a degenerative spinal condition, which means that on occasion I have to have some pretty intense medication, and the medication itself doesn't make me gain weight, but it causes me to retain fluid, which in turn makes me gain weight. So that's been pretty bad this month. I have had to have a fair bit of medication. Also this month I suffer with panic attacks, and with depression I have done for 15 years now. And this month I had my worst panic attack ever. It was the most horrific thing. I don't even know what brought it on. I just all of a sudden felt very anxious. I thought my heart was going to beat out my chest. It was awful, and I've not really been right since that. It really did shake me, to be fair. So in the period of moving from one swimming group to the other, it was about 2 weeks. So I had within that 2 weeks, along with the medication, I had gained a stone and half a pound, which is 14.5 pounds, in that space of time, which really threw me. I knew I would have a gain due to the water retention, but never in my life did I imagine it was going to be that big. So the following week I went to weigh in and I'd lost 6 pounds, and I felt great. I thought, this is it now, back on. My body's sort of adjusted to the medication, but then I had that awful panic attack, and it's made me very nervous to leave my house, and I'm sure it's something that I will get over, but I just didn't imagine that it would have such a big impact, you know, weeks later. I mean, some people watching this might think I'm being too honest, but I just don't think there's any such thing. I think the people that genuinely watch these videos for my weight updates don't want to hear, oh yeah, I've lost this much this week, this much. No, they want to hear the truth, and you guys want to hear the truth, otherwise you wouldn't watch. And I think it's really important to me that if I'm going to do this on a monthly basis, I need to tell the truth. So it's really not been a good month for me this month. I just felt really not myself, completely out of sorts, and just, you know, just not right. So I weighed in last night, and I've gained 8 pounds, which, you know, if you sort of, with the medication the other, like a fortnight ago, over that 2 week period, it was 14.5. This week on its own for a week it was 8. So I'm just hoping that I'm not on this medication for too long, and this flare up doesn't last for too long, because it is the most painful area of my back. And in that same area I've had a slip disc for, we're talking about 6 years now, that hasn't popped back in. I've been to physio, but the way they explained it was that where the disc in my back had popped out, there was a tear, and because there's a tear they couldn't do physio to work it back in, something like that anyway. But you know, that I'm on constant pain meds for that as well, and it's just really not a good month. But I did still want to come on and give you all an update, because I do get a lot of messages, and people are always concerned, which is lovely, and it does really sort of touch my heart as well. And then very sadly, last night I heard that one of my friends, lovely lady, she had been battling cancer for the 3rd time in her life, and her poor body just couldn't do it anymore. So she sadly passed away on the 24th of this month, and that's really, it's difficult for me, because I feel, from my point of view, I feel guilty that I moan about being in pain. Yes, I have a back condition. Yes, you know, I can't help it. Carrying all the extra weight doesn't help. You know, I'll hold my hands up there and say it doesn't. When I lost more weight, the pain was less. So that part of it is my own fault. But she never complained. She always fought. She was so considerate of other people and making sure that they were okay. She had a lovely family, children, grandchildren, and she was just a genuinely wonderful woman, and she will be missed. So let's get off the sad note now, because I'm going to start crying on camera and really embarrass myself. But I have had a good old think recently to myself, and I know that the pain is less with when I'm lighter. So I have another appointment with my doctor to try and change the medication that I'm on to one that may not retain as much fluid, or if he could give me something to you know, to release the fluid as such. So that's the next thing on the agenda, because to be quite honest with you, I cannot carry on being this size anymore. It's depressing, it's embarrassing. You know, I mean, my family are great. They, you know, they love me regardless, all of them. You know, I have a huge family. At home it's just the 3 of us, but you know, I have 4 sisters, and they all have partners and children, and you know, mum, dad, and you know, aunts and uncles. I have a huge family, and they are always very supportive, but I just feel like I disappoint them. I'd come so far before, and I just feel like a huge disappointment now. And you know, they don't see it like that. That's how I see it. And the way my anxiety is affecting me now, I'm very frightened to leave the house. I don't like to leave the house. I've gone back to having, you know, abuse in the street. I actually, about 4 days ago, I braved the elements and went to walk to my bank, which is, you know, 200 yards away from where I live. And there were actually a group of youths outside the bank, and they started throwing food at me, which was it was humiliating. It was awful. But you know, there are people worse off, and that's why I feel guilty sometimes when I moan. My weight gain is self-inflicted. You know, that's no one else's fault but mine. I put the food in my mouth. I've done this to my own body as far as the weight goes. And I know my issues with weight do have a lot to do with my anxiety and my depression. But it's just not something that you can fix overnight. And that's what I've got to keep telling myself. you know, it's not a quick fix. It's got to be a change, you know, a long term, you know, be able to maintain it long term. And that's, you know, that's what it's got to be. So I've got to be in the right frame of mind to do that. And at the moment, I'm not as focused as I want to be. I'm not giving up by any stretch of the imagination. Never, ever, ever will I give up. You know, and I will keep doing these update videos. I'm really, really hoping that the next one is a bit chirpier and I have a better month in March. But you know, there are a few people that check in on me quite a bit, you know, through Facebook in the crafting community. I've just met so many wonderful, wonderful people that accept you regardless of what you look like. And I think that's why I was always very scared to do a face-to-face video. Even though I always knew that when I was doing crafting videos you could see my arms and they're not exactly tiny. So even though I knew that people would know that I was overweight, I just didn't want to show my face. But then I had a lot of support on that first face-to-face video, and that really meant a lot to me. And you know, there are, as I say, a few people that do message me on a regular basis to check in and check I'm okay, and that means a lot to me. So yeah, the crafting community is a place where you can be accepted regardless of anything. And I think since doing that, and you know, meeting people like that, and those people knowing that I am this size, and they still, you know, want to talk to me anyway. I know I might sound like a bit of a, you know, sad person but yeah, you know, weight's always been an issue for me, and I've never made friends easily at all, never. My poor husband had an absolute nightmare when we were dating, absolute nightmare. And it took him, you know, 11 years to wear me down to marry him, but I did, and it was the best decision I ever made. But you know, the crafting community as a whole has really, really helped me, and I know that there are people, even though I've never met them face to face, you know, I've never gone and spoke to them or spoke to them on the phone or anything like that, they have become my friends. And all of you who watch these videos and support me, I would consider you all my friends, because you take the time out of your day to check in on me and watch my videos, and that's why I'm always really appreciative. And I always like to do giveaways, you know, for anything really. I like to give something back if I can. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. You know, sad month this month, and you know, we've got to focus on next month and see what that brings. So with that in mind, I will leave you, and I will do another weight update video at the end of March, and hope that it's going to be a much happier one. Don't forget to check out my 150 subscriber giveaway though. Once I hit 150 subscribers, I've got some lovely prizes to give out. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video in its entirety, listening to me moan. And yeah, thank you so much. Take care, guys. Bye.